It's good to be back with you on HK Direct. We're up to the third meeting of the season here in Hong Kong. After the first two meetings, Zac Purton has continued on his winning ways. He's still at the top of the jockey's title on 3 wins, while Jimmy Ting's made an outstanding start to his training career, and he leads the trainer's title after the first couple of meetings, also on 3 wins. Here's what we've got in store for you on this edition of HK Direct. And we'll be hearing from Derek Leung, who's in Seoul to partner Hong Kong galloper Fight Hero in the Korea Sprint. And for a more in-depth look at the race, we'll be hearing from Korean-based race caller Alastair Middleton. So let's start off with Derek Leung. He'll be riding Fight Hero in the Korea Sprint, flying the flag for Hong Kong and trying to emulate Super Jockey, who won the inaugural edition of this race. I caught up with Derek at Happy Valley on Wednesday night prior to him flying out.
Well, if he can handle the track, can handle the surface, I think he will run good because he's quite honest. Every time over the track, doesn't matter 1200 or 1650, he still run home very strong. Hope he can handle the track, and if he do that, I'm sure he will run home strong.
Looking at the races over there looks to be a lot of kickback on that particular surface. Is that a worry for you with him, given that he likes to get back in his races?
Yes, the surface is the sand track. It's very deep and soft, and like what I said before, I hope the horse can handle it, because in Hong Kong he comes from behind and he don't really afraid on the over the track. So hope he can handle on the sand track.
What about the left-handed turn? Would that be a potential issue for him?
Well, I'm not sure about that first because I will ride him on Friday morning. So after that, I will know more about him.
You've had a lot to do with him as a horse. You rode him in his first win here in Hong Kong. You won him his most recent win. What's he like as a horse, Derek?
Yes, I won on him twice, and he always a bit cheeky in the gate, but apart from that, he very quiet. He quite automatic. He know when last 400 meters straight, he will acceleration by himself. So it's quite easy work to ride with him.
Also, for you, when you go overseas to these sort of big overseas meetings, at somewhere that you've never ridden at before, what do you do as a jockey to prepare yourself for these sort of occasions?
Yes, I will go through the replay. I will watch all the horses replay, and we watch the race about the surface, about the track, and yeah, just do more homework and ask some professional jockey. The opinion will help a lot.
And just finally, have you spoken to me, Choi? Obviously, Fight Hero's already in Korea. Any reports from the stable on how he is over there?
Yes, the trainer Choi told me the horse quite relaxed. When he land over there, he quite relaxed. So it's more important for him, because sometimes when he nervous, he can be tricky in the gate.
Wish you all the best of luck. Hope you do really well over there, Derek.
Thank you very much.
So that's Derek Leung. Thanks for him for taking the time to talk to us at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Let's continue the talk on the Korea Sprint with race caller Alastair Middleton, who joins us live in Korea through Skype. Alastair, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. We've just heard from Derek Leung, the jockey, of course, of Fight Hero. We've seen Hong Kong horses, or a Hong Kong horse, win this race in the past with Super Jockey. When you look at Fight Hero's form against his rivals for Sunday, how do you measure him up?
Oh, first of all, thank you for having me. Obviously, Super Jockey was tremendous in the race a couple of years ago, absolutely dominated it. I think the sprint this year is very competitive. It is every year. And Fight Hero, well, he was a winner last time out. I think you've got to respect any horse that can win at Sha Tin. Any Hong Kong horse that wins at Sha Tin and comes over here is going to be in with a chance. He's going to have to run at his very best. I would have to say that. It is a competitive lineup. Obviously, the Japanese horses are very difficult to beat here. Even the local Koreans as well can be very, very competitive here. So he's going to have to be at his best, but it's not impossible.
He's got a get-back run-on style of racing on that sand surface, which you're watching races on week in, week out. Is it difficult for those horses who like to get back in the run to make up ground?
It can be. However, what I would say is, I know Fight Hero is coming out of the outside gate as well, which, obviously isn't every horse's cup of tea. But if you look at the last couple of runnings of the sprint, although the winners have come out of, I think, gate 7 and gate 2, respectively, if you look at the second place getters, both of them came out of gate 14. I think Match on Bolt in 2016, and then last year Power Blade. Both of them came from a wide draw. Both of them made up a lot of ground later on. I think one thing coming out of the wide gate, you can avoid the kickback, because part of the thing that can be really hard for horses from overseas to adapt to on this track is there is a lot of kickback, and a lot of horses, it's not really something you can replicate in the track work. You don't know how they're going to deal with it until they actually get into the race situation. But coming out of the outside gate, I think the jockey can pick his spot. And I think if he can get a clear run, not hopefully have to make up too much ground, as that will be hard, then he has got a chance of getting back.
Okay, so he's one of 5 international horses in the race. We've also got representatives from France, Japan, the UAE, America. Who was the standout as far as the internationals go for you?
I think you do have to respect the Japanese horse, Moanin. I think they've been very shrewd as well, picking a jockey, Kenichiro Fuji, who has won many, many times on this track. So he knows exactly what he's got to do to get that horse up. Since they arrived, I've been very impressed with the American horse Jablicious on the track. Every morning he's carried himself very, very nicely indeed. We had a couple of American horses who ran here last year for the first time. They did very, very well, beyond expectations for their form, I would say. And Jablicious, he's impressed quite a lot of us over the past week with the way he's been working. I think we could see a big run from him as well.
And you see these Korean-based horses week in, week out. Looking at the form, you've got a horse like Durayan Pongyonson, who's perhaps an established horse, up-and-comers in Ace Korea. And today, of the 8 that are running from Korea, are they the 3 main hopes, would you say?
I would say you've got that right. Yeah, I think Durayan Pongyonson is a good horse. If you look at his times, they're perhaps not Korea sprint winning times. He's not really put in a time yet that you would say is going to win the Korean sprint. But everything he's been asked to do, he's stepped up and done. He finished, I think, 3rd in the race last year. He really loves running at Seoul as well. He's based actually at Busan, but he really loves running at Seoul. And he's won our second biggest sprint, the SBS Sports Sprint, 2 years in a row now. And the draw doesn't really matter for him. He can run whatever way, and he certainly has a chance. Today, the draw was much more important for. He's got a very good draw. I think he's coming out of gate 2. If he can ping out, get on speed early, get close, then he has a chance. We saw him having a little bit of bad luck in running in Kranji when he went to the KRA Trophy in Singapore in July, but he still rallied really well to finish 3rd behind a couple of pretty decent Singapore-based gallopers. So I think he's got a chance. Ace Korea, if this race was a few months later, I would say yes. I think he's got bags of talent. I think this may be a little bit too much too soon. Hopefully the experience will stand him in good stead, though.
Okay, so it was mentioned, very competitive race, plenty of chances. Can you give us a tip for it, though, Alistair?
I'm going to be very boring, and I'm going to go for the Japanese horse Moanin. Obviously, I'd love for one of the locals to do it. I was going to try and surprise you by saying my outside pick would be Ace Korea, but for an outside pick, I would say another overseas horse I've been impressed with this week is King Malpic. I wonder if we might see a big run from him, but him especially, I think the track is going to be something he's going to have to adjust to.
Okay, and finally, what does this race and this meeting in general mean for the Korean racing scene?
It is the biggest weekend of the year. We have the 2 races, the Korean Sprint, which obviously Fight Hero is taking part in. We also have the Korea Cup, which is worth $1 billion. They're both really diverse races. We've got horses from 9 different countries participating, if you count Korea, the host nation. Horses from 8 countries have come here. And it is a week that we don't really experience anything like in the rest of the Korean calendar. So it is very important. I think the whole event sort of has overtaken the races as well. It is a real event now. And hopefully we can get some really, really competitive races. And in future, we'd like these races to be targeted ones.
Well, we thank you for your time, Alistair. All the best for the coverage and the day itself on Sunday. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
There's Alastair Middleton joining us via Skype to tell us more about the Korea Sprint, which will take place on Sunday. It's part of our coverage as well, which gets underway at 12:20. The feature at Sha Tin is the Kwangtung Handicap Cup, which is at 110 Class 1, featuring a field of 5 over 1,400 metres. And the Korea Sprint, which we've been previewing on the show, is S11 due at 2:45 Hong Kong time. If you want to follow the coverage through the website hkjc.com, David Morgan will be covering the Sha Tin angle, Andrew Hawkins the Korean angle, and as always you can follow us through social media at HKJC_racing. But that's it for this edition of HK Direct. We thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.